Big up, and good morning, everybody. How are you doing? I hope you are well. I hope you're having a great day. There's a lot of rumors around, and a lot of talks going on, a lot of manager situations, and a lot of things going on. People talking about possible new manager, the manager leaving. Well, I'm here to talk about more positive things and a different side of things because I'm focusing on what's going to happen. What can we do with the problems as we discussed yesterday with Dan Ashworth? And I'm also going to be speaking about, a little bit of an insight on possible starting 11 and choices for the FA Cup. Guys, big up to everyone joining me. It's your boy, MarkN, MUFC fan, and it's the morning views, Manchester United news. And let's start with Dougie Freeman, guys. With all the problems that we discussed yesterday and the sudden turn of events, the mismanagement, the leaks of the email, the mistakes by Dan Ashworth, and the possible issue of tapping up and the possibility that they want an increased compensation for Dan Ashworth. I'm saying to everyone now, Dougie Freeman turns down Newcastle's offer. Manchester United has a chance to steal. Why don't we try to do these things? Creative decisions that are going to change the fabric of what we're doing. People say we're Manchester United, but sometimes I feel like they forget we're Manchester United. I know the team has not been performing like a Manchester United-esque team of the past, but the club is genuinely Manchester United we are Manchester United. So you know what? I think if we get a top class, sporting director of football, it does not have to particularly be the one, the Matrix Reloaded Neo. They call him Dan Ashworth. It could be Dougie Freeman, guys. You know what I mean? While he turned down Newcastle, we all know Manchester United is the biggest club in England. How could he possibly say no to us? And he's probably not going to come at the cost. It's going to save us money. It's going to be creative. And we're going to get a guy that's coming here with a point to prove. Big up to you, Mental Ball Game. What's going on, my bro? I hope you're having a good day, good start to your day. Big up to all the viewers joining me, whether you're on X or you're watching live on YouTube. Don't forget to smash a like and hit that subscribe button. And if you're on X, small retweet would be appreciated. It will help the channel grow. Big up to all of you joining. And let me get right back into this. Let me actually get into the article. The first port of call for Manchester United's new owners, Ineos, has been trying to get the behind-the-scenes structure right before they take charge of their first summer transfer window. The club's haphazard approach to the market ever since the legendary Sir Alex Ferguson retired, and it has seen succession of stylistically different managers come in and overpay big for big name players with the play not quite clicking. Guys, it's been a big issue for us. The team is full of players brought in by previous managers, some of whom do not fit Eric Ten Hag's style. And the majority of the players the Dutchman has brought in have also been quite disappointing. The new look team would control recruitment while deciding upon a stable style of play that will be followed throughout the club. New look team to be put in place. The Red Devils have a CEO in the form of Omar Barada from Manchester City and Jason Wilcox, former from City Academy chief as technical director. Dan Ashworth is a desperate to join as sporting director from Newcastle, with both parties currently embroiled in a legal tussle as the clubs try and agree a compensation package. The Magpies had hoped to get Crystal Palace sporting director Dougie Freeman in place of the former Brighton chief, but as per Football Insider, the former Nottingham Forest guy has turned down the proposal, opting to stay back at Selhurst Park. Incidentally, the 20-time English League champions were looking to bring in Freeman to Old Trafford as their new recruitment chief after Sir Alex recommended his name. Dougie Freeman has rejected an offer from Newcastle to replace Dan Ashworth as sporting director and will stay at Crystal Palace, sources have told Football Insider. Friedman, who was impressed the Tyneside club with his work at Crystal Palace, has now chosen to remain at Selhurst Park. The Scot, who took Palace sporting director job in 2017, was high on a shortlist at Newcastle due to his ability to buy and develop young talent. Friedman has also been linked with a potential move to Man United under new Sir Jim Ratcliffe regime at Old Trafford. Newcastle is set to suffer another big blow. Freeman has certainly done a fine job with Palace's short string budget, bringing the likes of Michael Olise from Reading, Eberici Eze from QPR, and Mark Guehi from Swansea on loan for peanuts. And there were talks that the trio could follow the Scot to St. James's Park, but that looks unlikely at this point, as they are also targets for United. It has not been good work off the pitch for Newcastle with the complicated Ashworth situation, and now news of Friedman turning them down. They will keep looking for the right replacement. Whether United re-enter the scene for Friedman will be interesting to watch. Not many say no when the Old Trafford side come knocking, and that's 100% the truth, guys. What are your thoughts in the comments? Let me know what you're thinking. Big up to you, GB. And I'm just saying, guys, Dougie Freeman is a very qualified option. We are Manchester United. We already have that pull. We have that financial power. And, we might not have the ability to spend 200-300 million pounds this summer unless we sell really well. We're probably going to spend 150 to maybe 180 maximum without, selling players, if that happens at all. So we need someone to come in and be creative. We need, it doesn't have to be seen that there's only one guy that can do this job. I'm not understanding that when there's so many talented individuals who are doing a creative job wherever they're at currently. And, giving someone a chance, isn't that what sports and what anything is based on? Hopes and dreams. You give a guy a chance who's been doing really great with what he has, and he comes in to one of the biggest clubs in the world and he does his endeavor best. You never know what could happen. You know what I mean? Yarley, we should have had that deal wrapped up months ago. It was supposed to be something in the region of like 12 to 15 million euros. And now it's going to be probably 25 million euros. That's how different it is, because he signed an updated contract at Boca Juniors. So that's going to be one of those things. But, we should definitely be looking at some of these things, because at the end of the day, we want to have less drama and more football. And with the drama currently coming in with Dan Ashworth, who's to say that there's not going to be more drama to be had based upon that, And after that, there's a lot to be talked about. You know what I mean? And there's many things to be going on. And I'm not going to get too much into the transfer news right now, because I'm really doing my research and trying to do a really proper, scouting report for you guys. I'm going to try to get that done tomorrow, because I'm waiting to get a final review on some of the players that I've been looking at and some of the information that I've had, because I don't want to come out and say that we're looking at this player, he's 100% a target, and then there's an issue. You know what I mean, guys? At the same time, it's going to be very interesting to see the differences and what is happening currently in the market. There are lots of talented players coming up. As you know, I've previously done a scouting report on Giorgio Scalvini. I did that in December, guys. If you remember that, when I was telling you about the young lad, he's very good friends with Hoyland, 20 years old. And as you can see in the game last night against an indomitable Bayern Leverkusen, this young lad was one of the generals in the defense for Atalanta. He was one of the leaders, if not the leader, in defense in that game last night, winning 3-0, keeping a clean sheet. It's a young lad that, might be a different style, but he's probably going to cost a lot less than if we was to go for Jaron Branthwaite. And I would say, if you guys haven't seen him a lot this season, he's been part of everything good that Atalanta has been doing. He starts most games for Atalanta. He plays really well. He's very comfortable on the ball, very good going forward, very good with the ball at his feet as well. Very strong, decisive, no nonsense type of defender. Remind me of a Alessandro Nesta, guys. I don't know what your thoughts are on him. If you guys haven't watched the game, maybe you should check, watch some highlights, check him out. Tell me what you're thinking. I think somewhere in the region of 40 to 50 million euros might be the deal ideal, which is still going to cost us a lot less than if we go in for Jaron Branthwaite. So it's one of those things. And I'm just saying, guys, it's going to be really, really cool if we can get everything done early. Make some cheeky signings, whether it be 2 or 3 guys on a free, and then we get another young defender that could be a backup. We just really need one defender to come in as a starter, to be honest, and we could have a youngster that's coming back from loan or a youngster coming up through the academy as a backup. We also have Willie Kwambala, who we've seen performances this season have been really, really good. And, he can probably step in as a reserve, as a backup for the right center back from next season. You never know, because his performances this season in some big games has been showing, a level of competency and maturity of a player that has a lot of quality, and he's very young, only 22. He has a lot of potential, to grow and be stronger and learn more as well. He's going to be playing next to the likes of Lisandro Martinez as well, so he's going to have experience next to him and continue to learn and develop. So maybe we go in for a Giorgio Scalvini, who's already been doing it for the last 2.5 seasons at Atalanta, week in, week out, one of their starters. He comes with that experience, can be a starter, would slot right in, 6'2". He would slot right into that right center back role and dominate it. So the only issue is getting a cover for Lissandro if he was to be injured. And I mean, this could be done with a cheeky signing like Yarli is saying, and Slamino for 25 million. Our spend, and that's in euros, our spend could to get in 2 or 3 defenders could be somewhere in the region of 70 million euros. You know what I mean? If we do it right. And we get those 2 defenders and Arida Bayo on a free, that's 3 defenders. That's a proper depth right there. You know what I mean? You add those 3 defenders to the 2 that we already have, and it's gonna be good. It's gonna be decent, guys. You know what I'm saying? Then we could look at the midfield, which is very important that we look at. We need to bring in a DM that's ready to start, that could come in and start games, and we need to bring in a backup for that DM. I would say bring back a young Dangor Jr. who's really, really good on the ball, very rugged, physical, and he can play a pass. He can play make from deep. And he has the experience of playing with Kobe Mainu over 2 seasons in the academy. So the youngster is going to have that chemistry with our young midfield talent. So, you can get a senior starter like a Joao Gomez, who's been doing it at Wolves all season. You bring him in. He's starting for Brazil. He's going to be at the Copa America. You guys, I'm going to be covering some of the games. You can check it out live on my channel as well. And as well as some of the Euros, because I'm going to be following a bit of Italy and a bit of Germany. So the Deutschland games, I'm going to be covering that because you know what? I'm in Deutschland. I'm going to also be, dropping you guys a little bit of fan cam this one for the Euros, because as you know, the Euros is in Germany and I live in Deutschland. And guess what? There are games in my city, so I'm going to be going there live on the day, drop in some little video updates about, the live atmosphere around the stadium and from some of the viewing parks that are opening very soon. So guys, stay tuned as the content's going to be coming through this summer. Smash those likes and subscribe, share it around, because the channel is going to, it's going to help the channel grow. And let's just get right into this article, because this is really the article I wanted to talk about, and it's just one of those things with a possible starting 11 that might be on show for Saturday as we go into the FA Cup, guys. So I'm gonna keep it real. I know there's some reports coming out about Pochettino wanting the Manchester United job, but it's just another manager, guys, in my opinion. Tuchel's been wanting the Manchester United job since December. You know what I mean? There's a lot of managers that would cut off an arm and a leg to get that Manchester United job, and a lot of them are unemployed currently. So it's one of those things. They've all been fired. So for me, it's like, it's, what are we going to do? We're going to fire our manager, hire a manager who we've seen fail. You know what I mean? We've seen them fail recently at the same level. You know what I mean? So sometimes for me, at some point, we have to break the cycle. I'm not saying the entire squad is bad, but I'm saying when there's bad performances, it gets contagious in sports. And teams are only as good as their weakest link. And when the weakest links are very weak, then your team really has not much of a strong backbone to stand on, especially when you have an injury-ridden season. So as much as guys would say, look, this other team did this other team did that, their circumstances are not Manchester United, guys. Their pressures are not Manchester United, guys. The problems with their injuries are not the same as Manchester United, guys, because after all, we all have different circumstances, different demands, and different, pressures that we play that all these different Premier League teams play under. And being Manchester United, the most talked about football team in the entire world, it's going to be a pressure like no other. They have to win games. And it's really different because a lot of people, just say that, this team is doing this team is doing that. But, since when have Manchester United always been a team to want to copy other teams? For me, it's more of those things where they should just be doing what they're doing and focusing on themselves. And Varane to start is predicted in the Manchester United lineup versus Manchester City guys. So it's going to be one of those things. Let's see what's going on. I'm going to get right brief into this because I have to run over to KG's channel in a second to give my view on something. So Varane to start predicted. Manchester United's final and biggest game of the season is just around the corner, with Erik ten Hag looking to end a disastrous season on a high note by winning the FA Cup. The Reds have their revenge in sights as they prepare for a repeat of last year's FA Cup final, with their cross-city rivals winning that day at Wembley. Last year, United went into the final game of the season with a third place finish in the Premier League and a trophy in the bag already. This year, winning the FA Cup is merely a salvation of what has been a difficult campaign. Victory would also see United qualify for next season's Europa League, which must be seen as an additive incentive as their league position fell short. Ten Hag has a number of selection headaches going into the game as his squad is still plagued by never-ending injuries concerns. Luke Shaw remains on the sidelines after a setback in his recovery from the injury that has kept him out of action for the last 3 months. In his place, Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Diogo Dalot will take up the fullback positions, with Lisandro Martinez and Rafael Varane possibly taking up the central roles together one final time. Varane will be making his final appearance as a United player after he announced that he will be leaving at the end of this season. Further up the pitch, Casemiro will be allowed to move back into his favorite midfield role, with Kobbie Mainoo partnering him. Ahead of them, Bruno Fernandes will lead the team, with Marcus Rashford and Alejandro Garnacho on either side of them, with Rasmus Højlund leading the line. The predicted Manchester United is Onana, Wan-Bissaka, Varane, Martinez, Dalot, Casemiro, Mainoo, Garnacho, Fernandes, Rashford, and Højlund. But guys, as you know, we all know that Rashford has not been performing at his best, and recently it has been Ahmad that has been seeing the starting positions. Big up to all of you coming in. And I'm going to say this, Campo Smurf and all of you guys. I'm looking definitely to see Ahmad starting. If not, maybe an Anthony or one of the two. Maybe Garnacho and Rashford could come off the bench in the second half. I don't know how you guys might think about that, but I think that's the best approach. I think maybe we wear them down a little bit. You know what I mean? You let these other guys do something different that they are not expecting, because it's going to be totally different. If you drop, Anthony off the left, you put Ahmad on the right, flank Højlund with the two of them, I think there's going to be a lot of service, and you could bring Marcus Rashford on and Garnacho to run at the defense for the second half. It's one of those things. Anything could happen. It's a cup final. Bigger, and the manager could do a lot of different things. We've seen in the last game at the Emirates, I know a lot of people keep talking about, we lost 6-3 last season. In the first game the manager played against Pep, we lost 6-3. That's a fact. But the second game, we won 2-1. You know what I mean? And in the third game, yeah, we did lose 3-1. But as you can see, the first goal we conceded was that scrapey penalty that was so weird. And we didn't even get a penalty ourselves that we should have gotten in that game. Also, there's also the situation where in the fifth game that we played, which was the last game at the Emirates, we were leading for 60 minutes with 1 goal. We had 2 to 3 chances before the halftime that could have sent us 2 to 3 goals clear ahead by the halftime. So, guys, I'm not saying that there's going to be a miracle, but what I'm saying is that we've done it before. We've had Manchester City at the back foot in a couple of games, and you never know what will happen. So, in my honest opinion, have some faith in the squad. This is one of the biggest games of the season. This is the biggest cup trophy in England. It's almost, in my opinion, it's side by side with the Premier League. So, in one of those things, guys, is one of the biggest tournaments, the oldest tournaments in the world. We have to do this. The team needs our support. Guys, I know there's lots of disagreements in terms of who the manager is going to be next season, But right now, right here, this week, Saturday coming, these are the players that we have. This is our manager that we have, and we need to back them. If we want to win that cup this season, we need to back our team and back our manager, guys. And hopefully we could make it with we could probably do it, guys. You know what? Yeah, I know it was difficult. The last time we conceded on the first minute and we ended up losing 2-1, but this year could be different. You know what I mean? I mean, in my honest opinion, I think that we have been better going forward a lot this season. So in the late half of the season, we've been creating a lot more chances, but the clinicality. And one of the good things is Rasmus Højlund in his last two games off the bench has been very clinical. He's been managed to get a goal in a similar style in both games back to back. Who's to say he doesn't start this game hungry, hasty, and ravishing, scoring an early goal and taking us to the lead, maybe even scoring a brace and having Manchester City go into halftime 2-0 down. You never know what could happen, guys. So I'll just say this much. Big up to all of you watching. Thank you for being here. Let's support Manchester United. Let's see how far we can go. If we can at least salvage our season with a win in the cup. I know it's a rebuild season, and for me, I don't think it's that disgraceful. I think it's a bad finish, but I think we could have done better if we didn't have all those injuries and we had more options for the manager. I feel like sometimes, a manager could only coach so much. Some players, they might not be able to do it. And while I'm not saying they're all bad, there are sometimes, players have bad seasons and bad performances. And sometimes that's just how life goes, because this is not a video game. You know what I mean? And I think Anthony will provide some defensive stability, as Kenny Fans TV is saying, on the left. But in case for Rashford, we'll play with 10 men. Totally agree with you, my brother. And big up to everyone watching, guys. I hope you have a great day. I'll catch you guys later on. I'm going to be doing that scout report tomorrow as promised, because you know what? I'm just waiting for the call, and I think I'm getting some messages about that information, and I'll be going ahead with that. Also, guys, I'll be live with Mick at 4 p.m. UK, 3 p.m. UK time, and that's going to be, a show where he's going to be covering some news and stuff coming out with different managers and different players, possibly to happen in the summer. Hope you have a great day, guys. Don't forget to smash that like and subscribe. Help the channel grow. It's going to be I'm really grateful if you could do that. Take the time out to share it around. Those of you watching on X, please give me a little retweet. Hope you have a great day, and I'll be back with you guys later on.